So I would do the prayer, and have Ms. Chastain to do the pledge. There's so much chaos in this world. We got wars, we got rumors of wars, we got a hurricane in the Gulf, we got fires on it everywhere, we got flooding, we got Americans being killed overseas, we got chaos in the White House and our house and everywhere. It seems like we're on the wrong road. But I know a person who I truly trust in to get us out of this, get us in the right way, get us back on the right road. His name is Jesus Christ. I promise you. Because we can't do it. We cannot do it. Take a moment of silence, please, for this country, for this state, and for this parents. I would thank you. Oh, gracious Father, we come in your presence, thank you. Thanking you for all the things you have done for us. Realize that we couldn't have anything without you. For this cause, I just want to say thank you. Father, I pray for this jury. Every jury here, their families as well. I pray for everyone from us we vote and their families. Father, bless this country, bless this state, bless this parish. I also want bless our leaders, political and religious leaders as well. Please, in your kindness. I pray for the sick. I pray for the poor. I pray for the incarceration. I pray for just peace and understanding, Father. I pray for unity. And most of all, I pray for understanding, Father. And Father, as we try to transparent this business to the best our ability, please lead us and guide us, Father. Do what's best for the people of this parish. And Father, that everything is said and done out of his mouth. Give all the honor, praise, and glory. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Chastain. Ms. Taylor, please call the roll.
Mr. Dexter Armstead,
Present.
Mrs. Kristen Chastain,
Here.
Mr. Michael Cheatham is absent, Mr. Kyle Flanagan,
Here.
Mr. Jason McCray, Mr. Keith Mills is absent, Mr. Richard Olivo,
Here.
Dr. Chrissy O'Quinn,
Here.
President Lewis Kent.
Verbal quorum. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. You're welcome. For any verbal conflicts of interest, disclosure, any personal, financial, organizational interest that may influence the discussion of decision making tonight?
I have a verbal conflict. Number 30.
Okay.
I'll abstain.
Okay. Okay, if I need a motion to approve the agenda, please, with one addition, moratorium on subdivision. By Mr.
I make a
Chastain.
motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carried. Okay, let's move on. Old business after minutes from the July 6, 2026 regular meeting. Everybody ready?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. O'Quinn.
Second.
Second by Mr. Umstead. Any discussion? Question from the audience? None, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carried. New business, discuss take action on resolution with CAFA to offer bond programs in addition to current grant programs for citizens of East Feliciana Parish looking to purchase a home. The Capital Area Finance Authority. Anyone here? State your name, please.
Kristen Delahousie. I'm with Capital Area Finance Authority. And East Feliciana is actually part of that capital region. It's East Baton Rouge and then the 8 surrounding parishes. We offer down payment assistance to home buyers. And we have a program when the rates got so high that was specifically for first-time home buyers. And it was at a below-market rate. The one that we had issued last year was at 5.88%, which is a fantastic rate for these home borrowers. We ran out of that money in May, and so we have to go. We went back to the bond commission in June, and we're able to get another 50 million. And so every time we do this, we have to get permission. And our other programs that we do, we don't get permission because y'all are part of our footprint. But the IRS tax code requires that every single jurisdiction that even if it's in our footprint, has to approve it. So I'm here tonight just to ask that we continue to be able to offer this program. If y'all are interested in knowing a little bit more about it, I'm happy to talk about it or let you know that we have a website that can explain a lot of things. If there's any kind of community thing that you know of here in East Feliciana that talks education for first-time homebuyers, and y'all let me know, I would love to be a part of it. Either support it financially with sponsorship dollars or just even coming to talk to people and telling them, you know, what we do and how we are our resource. So.
But Dr. one last, go ahead, Mr.
I have one quick question for you. So when you're the first-time home buyers, is there any stipulations for as, you know, I'm just asking, if, you know, is there a certain amount that they can, if they make it, or maybe since it's federal money, is that a stipulation on the amount that they make or can earn?
It is, and that's just strictly, we as an organization, as an authority, do not make those restrictions. And so Louisiana Housing Corporation is like a statewide organization. They do the same thing, and they're under the same guidelines. So if we just changed I think it's like 96,000. It might be a little bit more that you can't make over that.
Okay.
So there's going to be that stipulation, and then and some of the guidelines are, you know, 620. You have to have a 620 credit score, and then it's, you know, there are a lot of different things. The guidelines are different with the state program and then with our program. We don't require, or our servicer that does this does not require tax transcripts, and they also allow for manual underwrite. That's a huge bonus to these borrowers. A lot of times, if they're first time, it might be a little harder to get them into a loan. And so to be able to do manual underwrite really is a good benefit to them. And a first time home buyer is anybody that has not had ownership in 3 years. So if you had a house, and maybe I'll give you an example. Somebody got divorced, and they, you know, moved out, were renting a place for a couple of years, and decided, all right, I'm back on my feet. I want to get my own house. They were considered a first-time home buyer. Okay. And a lot of times, you know, if you have a house and you sell it, you take some of that equity and that money to put toward the next house. If you're a first-time home buyer, you don't have that, and you could have it. You could have $10,000 that you've saved, and in today's, that's hard to save. And so for them to have to just deplete all of that just to go to a down payment, that's what we're here for. We're here to help those qualified borrowers.
So I'm glad you clarified it, because like I said, we've dealt with federal funds before, and I know there are some stipulations that you may not be able to qualify for those monies. So I appreciate you
absolutely
putting that out there.
And it is. They have to be qualified borrowers. We are not the loan officer. We are just an organization with a mission for home ownership and help with affordable housing. And so the lenders will do all of, just like a normal person. You just come in, I want to buy a home. Oh, you have a program to help me? And if they fit with those couple of stipulations, and then they can get it. And I want to say, and this is just kind of statewide, the average home sale that we see is anywhere from $185 to about $250.
So I asked you that too. So.
Yeah, I was at a parish presenting the other day, and they wanted some information, and I looked it up, and I was trying to think of which one. I've been going to 62 of the 64 parishes. I've been traveling a lot, but I was surprised that it was like 300,000 was there. You know, but again, it just depends on whatever the municipality is and who's purchasing. So,
I have a question for you. With the bill that just went into law, how would that affect your program?
What went into law?
It's a bill he wouldn't sign. It went into law because he wouldn't sign it about housing. The bill that passed through the federal government.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because he said everything for a first-time home is 40 years old, because people just can't afford it. So he let the law pass.
Like that road to home?
He wouldn't sign it or anything. He let it went into law.
Yeah. We don't have really no other stipulations. I mean, we try to make it really simple. So, and a lot of times we say agency guidelines. If somebody asks us a question like, can they do this or can they, and they'll just have to follow, besides what we have for the income and the credit score, they're just, if FHA allows for it, then they can do it. We do manufactured homes, but we can't do single wide, and that's just a federal thing, that's not CAFA. But yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for that.
Okay. Any questions from the audience? What's the pleasure of the jury?
I move, make a motion to let them continue to get those further funds. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Questions from the audience? All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. Okay, number 2, 2025 audit presentation, COLA and slavery.
Good evening. Y'all all received a packet when I got here with the financial presentation. It's a brief summary of the information in the audit report that was completed and submitted to the legislative auditor a few weeks ago. And we'll go over some of the information in that packet in dollars and cents very quickly this evening. On the first page of the presentation is just a summary of the financial report. It describes what's in the packet, y'all's responsibilities for internal control, compliance, prevention, detection of fraud, and our responsibilities to perform the audit in accordance with accounting standards, and to be here this evening to go over the results with y'all. So the overall results on the financial statements, you received an unmodified opinion, a clean opinion. So the users of the financial statements, be it grantors or bondholders or the general public, they can rely on the information in here, as can y'all in your decision making. When you're looking at the dollars and cents and the information that's in here, it's a true representation of your assets, liabilities, income, and expenses as of December 31st, 2025. So we are here in July, so it is about 6 months old, but it is accurate information. As far as internal control issues, we had none that we're going to be reporting. We did have a couple of compliance issues. The 2 issues that we had, one was for your Louisiana public bid law. There were a couple instances where the documentation that you provided us didn't quite match with what the state statute was. One thing was on the purchase of a piece of equipment. The quotes were obtained, but it wasn't the right number of quotes. And the other one was a public works project. Y'all determined that it was an emergency project and started on it, but you started on it before the resolution was made for that emergency. So it was a timing issue there. The other issue we had was with the budget. Y'all did amend the budget in accordance with state statute. However, there's a 5% variance that we have to measure against. Once the numbers were all accrued, so what that means is we have to look about 2 months after year end to see if anything happened in those 2 months that really belonged in last year. So you know in December you're dealing with contractors, you're dealing with vendors, you're buying stuff, you're waiting on money to come in, you just don't know when it's gonna come in. You amend the budget, you guess what's going to actually happen in January and February, but then the numbers actually come in and get the results, and sometimes you guess right and sometimes you guess wrong. This year you were a little bit out of that 5% variance, but you did amend the budget. Those are the only compliance.
One thing before you go any further.
Yeah.
On the purchase of a piece of equipment that you were mentioning about, what happened with that?
My recollection of it, and I don't remember the specific piece of equipment, y'all were required to get 3 quotes and were able to only provide 2 to us. So
What
it was-
about sometimes we can't get but 2?
If you can't get 3, that's okay, but your documentation has to show those attempts.
Okay.
So you have to adequately document, we called, we emailed, we did whatever we had to do to these 3 vendors, at least 3. These 2 responded, this third one said, sorry, we're not gonna deal with you. You made the attempt to get that third quote.
I know in the past we have ran into that before.
And that happens quite common, so it's not that you have to get 3, it's that you have to make an adequate attempt to obtain 3.
So our problem was we didn't show documentation.
Yeah, we attempted.
Correct. Yeah, you couldn't, we come in after the fact, you couldn't prove to us that you made that attempt. So it's just truing up your documentation. And with bid law, the bid law has the quote requirement, which is you go and try to get 3 quotes, but then there's also the bid provision once you hit $60,000, where you have to advertise in the newspaper, take in the responsible bidders, do sealed bids, and those sorts of things. This was one of the quote instances, not the bid instance.
Any more questions? All right, thank you, sir.
On the next page, page 2, this is your total governmental revenues and expenses. So this is all of your funds, all of your different sources. Total revenue came in at about $10.9 million. Total expenses came in at about 10.4, very close to break even for an entity this size. With your revenues slightly higher than your expenditures, which is where you want to be. The big drop off for last year, y'all got a lot of grant money and expenditures. Those grants were one-time deals. So this year you didn't have that. So it's not that y'all really lost, you had grant stuff that was happening. And we'll see some of those numbers on the next page. On page 3, this is your snapshot of where you got all those revenues from. You can see federal sources went from about $2 million down to $100,000. That was the reimbursable revenues that you saw drop off. The other big number there, the sales tax number, that increased from 5.1 million to about 5.9 million, so almost $1 million in sales tax increase. So that did offset some of the grants, but the good thing is the sales tax money is y'all's general money, it's recurring money. Whether we stay at that trend or not is to be seen, but we are seeing throughout the parish and throughout the state an uptick in both sales tax and property taxes. On to the next page, page 4, this is where you spent all of that money. Again, some of the percentages here changed because of that grant information, the expenditures that you had. Your sanitation department was one of your largest ones, and it has been for several years. About 29% of your total budget go to that. Public works and capital outlay make up your other big components of that. So public works, road, drainage, bridges, those sorts of things. And then capital outlay is just the permanent infrastructure behind those. That was 21% and 15% respectively of what you spent in total. The last couple of numbers that I'm going to go over very quickly, this is just your general fund. And the reason why we carved this out just to look at it very quickly, the general fund is your catch-all. It's what you have the most control over, because the monies that are going in there and how you're spending those are truly up to the jury. It is not dedicated sales tax, it's not dedicated property tax, so you're not restricted in how you spend that, whereas some of your other funding sources you are. Your total revenue came in at about $3.8 million. Your total expenditures were flat, right at $3.6 million. So again, a slight increase there in both the revenue and the differential between your revenues and your expenditures for the current year. Those are some financial highlights and snapshots from this year. If there's any other questions, I can attempt to answer them now.
Any questions?
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for coming.
I'm gonna ask you one quick.
Go ahead, please.
So real quickly, I guess I want to ask you, what should our trend? Are we trending the way we should be going, or what are your suggestions?
It looks like y'all are moving in the right direction. Revenues are ticking up slightly as far as your recurring revenue, which is good. Y'all are spending a little bit more, but y'all are not overspending. There are going to be times where you're going to have a project that's going to run over budget, and that's why you're trying to build up your coffers a little bit. But having that slight differential and not a massive one without a purpose is good, and seeing the uptick in the sales tax, slight uptick in property taxes, which I think both of those are going to either stay flat, high, or trend upwards. That's a good place to be in. And so long as you can continue to control those expenditures, and as we've seen in the global market, all expenses are up. And for y'all to stay kind of where y'all are, that is a control mechanism that y'all are putting in place and moving you in the right direction.
In the past, the sales tax was up. They've been up for a while. And they've been trending that way for the last year or so, which is a good thing, really. So people are spending money. I don't know where they're getting it from, but it's benefiting the parish.
I'm not sure they're spending more, they might just be ordering more.
Well,
And when they order more,
They
they
I
go
still
to your
spend,
house.
I still spending. I still spending money. You know, in June and July was our slow months. It was up in both of them.
Yeah. Well, something good's happening.
All right.
I thank you.
Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a good evening.
Yes, sir.
Okay, recommendation to reappoint Darrell Buell to Emergency Communication District to represent the police district. I'm sorry, represent 911.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Abstain.
Abstain, one abstain. Motion, in opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next on the agenda, a moratorium on subdivision. Ms. Chester.
I wanted to discuss, at our last meeting, our engineers came and discussed the issues at Duck and Ridge. And like Mr. Lewis says, our ordinance are living, breathing documents, they can be changed, amended at any time. And feel like there's no time but now to make the changes. There's subdivisions coming in all the time wanting to build here. And I feel like if we don't stop, get this right, Duncan Road is just one of the many problems we're gonna have, and it's gonna be all over the parish if we don't do something to tighten up our ordinances where we don't have this problem again. So I would like to do a moratorium for, I mean, if it's 6 months, if we get it done before 6 months, then we lift it and go back to, you know, as soon as it's lifted, go ahead with the ordinance. But I would hope I would have all your support in doing this, but I guess we'll see. I make that motion.
One thing, some more discussion. Mr. Williams, we have two subdivisions on the planning and zoning agenda for the commission coming up the next meeting. We have two.
Yes.
So how would it affect those? They put those on hold?
Do you think we need to do a moratorium? Is that necessary?
I mean,
Is that-
my thought process is you have to stop it so it doesn't get bigger. I mean, between now and, between we get it, it could be 3 months before we start this ordinance, get it approved, and put it into effect.
We just,
can have 10
we just approved the
subdivisions done.
ordinance, and we need to amend it, you know, could be amended.
Whenever the previous parish man, I'm sorry, Jeff Williams, building official. The previous parish manager, we actually increased or boosted our subdivision ordinance substantially. I know the study that you're talking about, that we're missing, that is not in our ordinance. Look, the moratorium's up to y'all. I mean, I work for y'all, but there again, that is also how I pay my bills with the building department.
I'm not saying forever, I'm saying we get it
Just
fixed.
throwing that out there. But I'll give you my take. So my opinion is yes, I believe there should be a flood study done that's more in-depth, okay? But I do believe that if you go to these developers and ask them for that, even though it's not in our subdivision ordinance, I believe they'll do it. But that's just, I'm not saying,
Do we ask for anything that is like a study, water study, anything like that?
and I can only speak, I mean, I've only been here, 6, 7 years, but in the past with subdivisions, I didn't have a whole lot of involvement. That was with Forte and Tablata, when they were our engineers. They took over and ran with it. Now with these engineers, they're a little bit smaller, and so they're more, you know, which is great, right? But I have a lot more involvement, so now I know a lot more about the process and things like that. But I still think that these developers are willing to do what we ask them to do, as long as we hold them accountable. But if y'all want to put a moratorium for 6 months until we can add that verbiage to the ordinance, that's entirely up to y'all.
Well, has anyone spoken with Sam about that, our legal advisor? Has he,
Robert, we need
did you speak with?
No, what would, just, I mean, I feel like that is a
I
jury
mean, when
making
you
that
do
decision.
something this serious, usually you run it by him first to see what he.
We put a moratorium on it a year ago whenever we discussed on for the size, and I don't know, we as a jury decided this.
He was involved in that.
Good involved.
Can I ask,
Please do, Mr. President.
we're discussing 6 months, but
I mean, it
That-
doesn't have to be
that process wouldn't take that long. We're talking
3 months. no.
45 days, I mean, roughly, Jeff, am I mistaken in
Well,
that?
the issue we have is planning and zoning meets once a month, okay? And you have to advertise for 3 weeks by law. Then you have to have a public hearing, right? And then I mean, obviously y'all meet twice a month, which is great, but there again, you're 2 months, you're 3 weeks and then at least 2 meetings, so you're probably 3 months away.
So more
From
like-
just a simple, to me, it's a,
More like
it's a
90
line,
days.
it's a line item that you're adding, you know, to increase the.
So you're saying that you think that developers could be asked to do that?
I mean, you could ask them, but then just as soon as they say, yeah, I'll do it, they can say, no, I don't.
It's
not
gonna
good.
cost them money,
That's it,
but the
that's it.
2 developers that are coming up, I think they would do it, but that's just my opinion.
Mr. Williams, we fought this battle for years with this new ordinance, and we just got it approved, which is it's a living organ, so we need to go ahead and, we can amend it anytime, right?
Absolutely,
We can. So we just approved it not long ago, we're gonna make amendments to it right now.
and more than likely, I'm gonna be the one to change it, right?
Right.
And add the verbiage and do that, and obviously I work with Sam. But look, I work for y'all. If that's what y'all wanna do, I'll be more than happy to put pen to paper and add it and go from there. Obviously, I know the concerns that Ms. Chastain is hearing, you know. Honestly, I felt like Duncan Ridge whenever the previous parish manager was here, I thought we really did our due diligence as a parish. I mean, we had an engineer firm, we got a second opinion, then we got a third opinion. I really feel like we did our due diligence.
I'm not saying that we didn't, I'm just
Right.
saying that if our engineers suggest that we have tighter, I mean, we're paying them for their opinion, and that's what they're telling us. I feel like we need to listen to what they're telling us, and
And you can't go on what you think somebody's gonna
I
do.
think that's what I was just gonna say.
Because you can tell somebody, you come in up here, and I
Yeah, they
think
may
they
not
gonna
wanna
come,
do it.
or they may not come. So if we got, so 3 months is not much, too much to
Yeah.
ask.
I mean, it'll definitely, I think, be less than
I'm
6
gonna stand on the fact that not chunking no rocks, not calling no names, the issues that we dealing with at Duncan Ridge, we got some bad advice. We paid for that bad advice. And so we got some people now, I think, that's giving us the correct advice, so if, we might need to follow that.
And that verbiage that's being discussed, Jeff, y'all have all that figured out, or generally an idea of what needs to be put in? I mean, I know you said you gotta pass it by Sam, you gotta work with the engineering firm, but generally, you have an idea of what they're describing to you needs
Well,
to be put in?
my understanding was there was one particular study that we do not have in our current subdivision ordinance, and it has to do with drainage.
You have to do.
And there is a before and an after, okay? And to me, the after has never been done. The before has always been done, but the after has not been done. So, so for instance, the retention pond was a foot low, right, on
Right.
Duncan Ridge.
That's
Well,
right.
we never would have known that, we would have known that
If it did
if we would have had, exactly.
And that's what I was
Exactly.
just trying to say, Mr. Oliver was just telling you about, you just got some bad advice. Well, that's what we have a legal counsel for. We should run that by him and get his advice and tell us what.
I'm gonna respectively disagree with Mr. Olivo, about the advice, because I was heavily involved with engineers. And the engineers that we just hired told us the same exact thing that the other engineers told us, because the problem was on private property and there was nothing we could do about it. So,
I mean, Duncan Ridge is just one
Respectable.
instance. I'm talking about, anywhere else
Yeah,
in
what
the
they-
parish.
Right.
think about
And
newspapers
I don't
and
feel
nothing
like
like
for
that.
us to put in a moratorium for 4 to 6 months, that we need to ask Sam if we can do that. I mean, we're not halting anything in the parish,
We're not asking him, can we do it? We want to ask him, do he think we should do it?
Because he helps with the verbiage on how the
I mean,
moratorium and
right, I mean, we
everything.
can ask him.
Because he's gonna
ask
have
him
to
how
work with
it.
Jeff on anything
I
on that
completely
matter.
agree with that, but I don't think we need to ask him, hey, can we put this on the agenda and pass
That's
it?
for sure.
I don't think that's something that we need to ask him, can we do? I feel like that's what us as a jury is put on this jury to do. If he doesn't think we should, then when he comes to the next meeting, he says, no, we're not doing it, and it's over and done with.
Question, please. Is this trying to do just, one set of bids or all set of bids? It could be all set of bids to get this drainage, before we approve any plan or any set of it, right?
I mean, right now it affects my area.
I know,
Tomorrow
yeah,
it could affect
we know
yours, it
what-
could affect yours, it could affect anybody, and as a whole, we represent everybody in this parish.
I know.
Not just my district.
I didn't call me, I'm just
I
asking.
know.
I'm just asking,
There's
you doing
two
it
on the
for,
books.
for the individual, you're doing it for the parish as a whole. That's all I'm asking. I know it's your district, I understand
Right,
what
I mean,
you're talking
today
about.
it is, I mean,
I know.
it can change a drop of a hat to anybody else, but I feel like that's what we're on this jury to do,
Mm.
make sure that everything's run smoothly. You don't wanna create more problems if you don't have to.
That's true.
And
So,
by putting a moratorium in there, I don't know why it ruffles so many feathers to put in a moratorium for 6 months.
If,
3 months.
if we didn't,
3 to 6
3
months.
months.
if we didn't do moratorium, I am in favor for commencing Mr. Williams to add that verbiage with the help of the DA. Irregardless if we, let's just say we don't, hypothetically. I'm in favor of
Amending it.
starting today to give him the go-ahead to start working on that, to get
And
that
my
put in.
question
So,
for you
okay.
is, why would nobody be in favor for doing it, putting a hold in 3 months? What is each juror's thought on why you wouldn't wanna do it for 3 months?
I would say real quickly, I'm just kind of here neutral that I'm listening to right now, I kind of agree with that. Because what happens is, like Mr. Williams says, if someone come in and go in and get they permit to start building the infrastructure, we're gonna do it, and once they get started and say, no, we're not, he can't tell them they can't do it because it's not in our ordinance.
Right, it needs to
And
be
so
there.
it needs to be in
I
there,
mean,
because now you do they go and do what they, you know, what's current now, they can flood out.
Anytime we get ready.
It's a living
Yeah.
document.
It's a living document, I say
I
that
think
from
we
day
can
one.
amend it without
Yes.
putting,
It-
That's where I think you guys
Yeah,
think.
that's
There
what-
again, that's where it goes back, you go to your legal counsel, you consult with him, ask him, that's who.
now you can do,
Clear that
I
up for you.
you've got some ideas about how the amendment would be done without actually stopping the building subdivision.
I would like
But-
to say, like, regardless of what y'all decide as far as on the moratorium, we do need to move forward with our subdivision ordinances. So in order for me to do that, we have to have a task order.
And see, that's why I see what you're saying, now, even though you're saying don't stop, but then again, you go back to, you almost have to. Because if you say, let's change it, but then he come here tomorrow and somebody come and say, I'm ready to get started, then they go by the ordinance that's in place now, they don't have to abide by what we trying to do right now. So you
But I
almost,
can't-
you really got your hands tied where you almost have to do it and try to do it quickly
But I
to
cannot
release it.
ask for that task order because it is not on the agenda.
We added it to the agenda.
You add the moratorium.
Moratorium to the agenda. Yeah, moratorium, not the task.
Okay, not the task force.
See, that's it, so, that's what.
So we got a motion and a second for the moratorium.
It took us, let me say this.
Years.
It took us years to get a moratorium. That started
Not the moratorium.
The
about
ordinance.
6 years
The
ago.
ordinance.
Yeah,
Instead of the
to
ordinance.
have a moratorium, and then it was not until about
We
3
actually
years
got
ago.
ours done real quickly.
Yeah.
No, because I remember asking
Three
early on.
years. You remember
Okay, what I'm asking is today. I mean, I'm asking for 4 months to get all this done, through planning and zoning, whatever it's gotta do to get it done. That's my motion.
And the 2 subdivisions that I just heard y'all talk
They're
about,
gonna be on
they're
hold?
on there, this won't apply to.
Yes, it will.
Oh, absolutely. it
We
will.
are, definitely we
Will
will.
apply to,
Absolutely.
even though
I don't
they're,
have a subdivision.
they're on the agenda.
No.
Mr. Lee,
Yes.
is it something in my district, because I don't know about it, but other than what's already
No,
there?
sir, there's 2. There's one in slaughter and well, both of them are actually considered slaughter.
Consider it slow.
Just so he knows, Duncan Ridge is maybe one lot, so maybe, I don't know if
2.
it is. Grand Lake, I don't know those lots.
I have 2 lots sold in Grand Lake.
2 lakes, 2 lots. And
Yeah, this
the
would-
other one, I don't know the name of the other one.
The one on Daughtry Lane? The one on Daughtry Lane?
On Doherty Lane.
Yes, sir. They just split up a couple lots on there. They went through planning and
Well,
zoning.
Yeah, I know about that, but I'm talking, that was family. But I'm talking about, that's not finished, so it'll be the rest of the year before it ever comes into place. There's plenty of lots. Now, they might not want to live over there, but, you know, slaughter, it's not like we're running out of places to sell, for subdivisions, because they just hadn't developed up yet.
But it wouldn't affect Duncan Ridge, because we already approved this. It won't affect Duncan Ridge, period.
It only affects the 2 that are on the agenda for planning and zoning. Because, from what I know, the preliminary plats have not been introduced or approved. If the preliminary plats were approved, then obviously it wouldn't pertain to them.
Yeah.
So they're at the very beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
So we got a motion and a second for a moratorium for 6 months.
What she said about
6 months, but if we get it fixed before then, lift it as soon as we get the,
I think we might do it before then.
Any more discussion?
I have a question before
Go
before
ahead.
you start. So, if it's voted on to approve this moratorium, do we have to come back the next meeting to ask for a public hearing? And would you need to work with the, engineers to have a task order just to fix that one?
Well, that was gonna be my next question. Like, is there any other concern besides the flood, as far as the drainage? Is there something else that you want to add? But there again, I'm gonna discuss it with Mr. DeQuilla, and go from there. But now that I have y'all in front of us, in front of me, I can ask
While
if
we're
there was
engaging,
other concerns besides drainage
while we're engaging engineers, we need to.
that you wanted.
It costs money. It's nothing free.
100%.
It's nothing free.
I'd like a little bit more time to talk with Quality, if I could get that from you. I happen to be not at the previous meeting where they did their presentation due to sickness, but I'd like an opportunity just to talk with Zach if I could, to get a little bit more insight, since I missed that discussion.
I can pull other, parishes subdivision ordinance too and compare and, go from there, but
Zach didn't attend that meeting. Mr. Slavinsky did say that, but you will still need a task order.
The task order.
That you can't do until the next meeting.
Next week.
I just don't want to
Unless
get
it's
that
just
down the road. I feel
something
like
that, Jeff can,
I don't have the authority
No.
to do that.
without, so it's just one line.
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, from what I know, it's just a drainage study at the end of the process. After I talk to quality, they might come up with, you know what, you need this, 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 and this. And I talk to Mr. DeQuilla, and he says, well, you need this, this, and this. So, I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna take.
Ms. Harris, is any money left on
The previous,
the Junction Bridge project?
Yeah.
We ain't talked that, no, that's gone.
Maybe $600.
Virtually exhausted that.
They can talk to him.
Mhm.
I said,
No, they can't.
Not for that.
That task order wasn't for that.
well, but he can talk to him. He can talk about Duncan Ridge, throw a hypothetical question.
anytime he dealing with Indians, you gotta take a test off. They don't talk.
I
per se.
realize that,
Okay,
I
okay.
realize
If-
that. I'm just trying to figure out some kind of way for him to get his question asked real quickly and move on.
Cause when we approved the task order for Duncan Ridge, we almost had a fight about that, but how much money was gonna spend?
Hey, I appreciate that,
Okay.
it was way more money than I thought was
Okay.
needed, but evidently they thought it was needed, so they spent it.
So, Mr. Lewis, let me ask you this.
Please.
Can't you approve $10,000?
Yeah. Okay,
So what's the reason for coming back to y'all in a task order if you can approve $10,000? Let's say, hey, we're gonna go to our engineers and say, we wanna update our subdivision ordinance, but don't go over $10,000.
Ms. Harris,
Now,
you do
obviously-
that, don't you?
We don't because we wanna be transparent with y'all, right?
Right.
We're not trying to hide any,
I can only
Ms. Harris,
do,
you're the acting parish manager, you can,
I can only do my limit, and
I
so
don't
it
know my
depends
limit.
on, and Mr. Lewis and Mr. Kyle,
Mm.
there's a limit for them to, without having to go to full jury.
Poor Jerry.
But I will also say, and I don't know, Lauren, if you can answer this, you all have an amount that you actually budget for engineers.
Yes.
And some of the questions that we may have to ask them, because we have to start with something. If we call them and ask them for some kind of advice, or some, it may just be $500. But you can't start anything without speaking with them. So that's something that we discussed before, things like that. I mean, you have the money set aside in the budget. Do you have to come to you all for that? Or just unless it's over the
Over the-
10,000?
it lengthens the process, right?
And I would ask if this is something that, we can speak to them about and go forward, with, that we can go ahead and get the ordinances done, instead of just spending money on talking to them of this, that, and not having any projects actually finished. Duncan Ridge was, Mr. Alvo did say he thought it should have been less, but it is a project that is complete for now.
Yeah.
Well, as the finance chair, you have my blessing to proceed, but I can't speak for the full jury. I think it's more effective if y'all commence the discussion to find out what exactly we need, how much needs to be added to it.
I think there's some things Mr. Frosty was supposed to do in Balmoral, is it?
Cool.
And we have to speak with them to have some kind of cost,
Well, didn't we, when we put those people on board, didn't we give them a certain amount of money?
this budget.
Yeah, it's budgeted, just like the previous, yes. I think it was 150,000, and when they were
How
here.
much are we into that? About,
Lauren?
Not much.
okay.
You say not much?
This is for engineers. I'll have to go and actually pull up the documents and pull up, see how far you're in. What I'll show you tonight, your budget, is gonna be all your budget, everything's condensed into professional services. So that's more than just your engineers. But you need an idea on some margin, and that was just because this
message, because we need to get this rectified.
Yes, and I will say, just for knowledge of all the jurors and the public, what we budgeted every year that I've been involved, we've come in under. We've never even hit the cap at what we put. So from a dollar and cent standpoint, the money's there to proceed immediately.
$100,000 we put in for engineering, so.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we did the bill grant, that was something with Lyndon B. Road. There was another grant that was applied for with Mr. Oliver. And just different planning and zoning things that they looked at, so we would like to get some.
Like you just said, we're gonna be very careful with our money, okay, very careful.
So is there anything else y'all can think of besides the drainage
Drainage.
impact study after the
Like
fact?
we were saying a while ago, like look at the surrounding parishes and see, I know Zachary had a lot of issues with their drainage and they changed a lot of stuff and maybe
That's the main
the surrounding areas.
And when y'all have some of those discussions, I'm sure some will be by phone. I'd love to sit in, since they're already gonna be working with you, to try to catch myself up to speed on specifically what was said, if we could.
Absolutely.
That'd be fine. But now we gotta work to approve the moratorium for how long, 6 months?
6 months or until we get the,
You can always extend it.
You go extend it if we need to.
I mean, I wouldn't think it'd be 6 months, but.
Okay, so all in
Well, maybe
favor?
It can take 3.
No question, Mr. Lee?
What did the engineer say that recommend that y'all do as an entire watershed study?
A drainage, yep.
I forgot the verbiage he used, but it's a certain study that some parishes require that we do not.
Is a hydrology study, that's just,
Right, it says,
I think he said watershed, the entire watershed, so you don't have water coming in from somewhere else that you don't know about.
from the recommendations, update the ordinance to establish requirements for developments to provide H&H reports, drainage impact studies, off-site drainage analysis, and to establish requirements for post-construction runoff not to exceed the pre-construction runoff.
We do the pre, we're gonna do, yeah, we do the pre, we're gonna do the post, right?
This will be for new subdivision.
New subdivision.
What about the old subdivision?
No,
And you gotta do about them then, because they already established.
They're already established, and this is for moving forward. So,
Y'all not doing very good on the old subdivision.
So this would not affect Duncan Ridge.
No, no, what,
So here's what I wanna say, so we can move. If we do, like I say, we approve this like we should. If Jeff goes to Sam, he says, yeah, you know what, and we come back the next meeting in, 2 weeks, then we can just,
No, sir.
It don't work like
they don't work that way. no.
no, I'm saying if, I get you, but I'm saying if Sam says we don't, just say if he says leave it like it is, and I'm saying when we come back to our next meeting, we'll go back and lift the moratorium and keep moving forward. Because now if we sit here and hold it, we gotta talk to Sam, we're gonna come back in 2 weeks, and then we're gonna have 4 weeks gone. So that's a month gone already.
They gotta go
If
plan
that
it
makes
out.
sense.
They go plan it out, that's another month.
That's right. So what I'm saying, if we say, let's do the moratorium, and he talks to Sam or whoever,
now we lift it the next meeting.
and he says, no,
it's-
and we come back in 2 weeks, then we just have to go back and lift the moratorium. Because if we don't, if he said it's fine, then now we're gonna be killing the extra 2 weeks where you guys can be working on this, and we won't come back until,
They can be working on it.
Yeah.
regardless.
And that's how I was fixing to say the same thing, Mr. McCray, I'm gonna be working on it regardless.
That's what I'm saying.
You
Yeah,
know, to
but-
me,
Mhm.
right now, it's just about
Mhm.
money and how much do we wanna pay the engineers
Exactly.
and how
But I-
hard to work on it.
but I get that, you working on it, but I'm saying if someone walk in that door tomorrow, and whenever they goes back to, say, I'm finna do the subdivision, they fall in the old ordinance, what do you do then? Even though you working on the one to update it,
Nothing.
do you fall under the same old ordinance?
Absolutely.
That's why she wants to do it, just kill it for right now.
I'm not disagreeing whatsoever,
Mhm.
I'm just,
So that's what I was saying, if somebody walks through that door tomorrow and says, hey, let me pay my fees, I'm not sure what the process is for you, Mr. Williams, but I'm just kinda listening and going in between, so. Drainage is always a major, it's a major issue, let's just be real about it,
Everybody know water
Yeah,
went down.
no. If I was living somewhere, I wouldn't want nobody to flood my property out because they building
Absolutely
up
not.
too high, so I'm just being honest with you.
when people clear cutting and everything, building, you set a building there, well, it causes drainage problems. It can cause it for
That's,
somebody. So right now, we got a moratorium for 6 months. All in favor? And opposed? Okay. Okay.
Not for 6 months, that's my problem.
We can always lift it as soon
We
as
can
it's
lift it.
done. I cannot believe you don't wanna move the parish forward by putting a more, what will it
That's
hurt
not
you?
your, that's,
Wait, wait,
that's
wait,
not
wait,
the
wait,
discussion.
What will it hurt you as to why you won't do it? Like, how does it affect you that you don't support it?
She's not opposed.
That's all right to oppose it.
I'm not
Yes,
saying it's not, I'm
Wait,
just
wait, wait.
asking, I'm just asking
Let's get
as
some
a
order,
fellow
okay?
juror.
Get some order. All-
I have order, I'm just asking, like, why, I can't understand why somebody
Because
doesn't.
it's just brought up right before this meeting today. Nobody having any time to have an opportunity to talk about it, to
Thank
think about it, anything
And
like
it can
that.
be
Now,
looked at-
ask him the same question.
I was going to, but you were looking at
You
me,
need
so I
not.
asked you. I asked him before the meeting, and he told me he didn't wanna do it. I don't know why he doesn't wanna do it, I guess same reason as you. But I can't fathom, being on this jury, we're here for these people of this parish.
We're here for all the people in the parish.
That's right, every single person. No, I don't care what color you are, how old you are, anything else, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, right.
Are you kidding me?
Are you?
Wait, wait.
Hey, that's enough, that's enough,
No,
that's
I'm
enough,
done.
that's enough, that's enough.
I would never be called a racist. Do you understand that?
Did you hear
Ever.
racist coming
Wait,
from
wait,
my mouth?
Ms. Marta, please,
You
okay?
didn't have to
Did
say
I
it.
say anything about a racist? This
You
ain't
didn't
got
have to
nothing to
say
do
it.
with no racist.
Okay. you
That's
take it
your
under your room.
interpretation.
That's right.
You said that, I didn't.
Okay. Let's move on, okay. Well, moratorium place for 6 months. Voted on by the jury. Jeff, you work on getting everything in order.
She needs to know how many yeas you have and how many nays you have.
Right.
So how many yeas,
You have my-
how many yeas?
She have a name.
Yay.
Okay, so 1, 2. Yes, sir. Kyle?
Nay.
1, 2,
Let's give a roll call.
3.
We'll give a roll call. Okay. Let me get it.
3 and 3.
She's right there. She's still here.
I'm right here.
Mr. Dexter Armstead,
Yes.
Mrs. Kristen Chastain. Yes. Mr. Michael Cheatham is absent. Mr. Kyle Flanagan,
No.
Mr. Jason McCray,
No.
Mr. Keith Mills is absent. Mr. Richard Olivo,
Yes.
Dr. Chrissy L. Quinn,
No,
President Lewis Kent.
Yes. She gets behind us, we just sell them and through with it, okay? One of the years. Prepared with it.
That's it?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
it
passed?
passed.
It's
4 to
passed.
3.
It's passed for 6 months. We know what to live. Okay, Mr. Williams, you can proceed.
I can go sit down now?
Yes, sir, yes.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
I told you, so with chaos everywhere, the White House, the outhouse.
In this
everywhere.
house.
the outhouse.
That's why I pray every day
Yeah.
for guidance and leadership, because we need to come together as a people, we need to.
Yes, sir.
We really do. But things are getting bad, from bad to worse, we don't need to, okay?
My glass is filling up.
Mine is full, thank you. Let's move on. Committee and staff report, is every committee? I don't have anything. Personnel committee, that's Chris O'Cool.
I don't have anything.
Finance committee, Mr. Kyle Fleming.
One item, it is approved monthly invoices, and that is a motion.
I second it because I looked over some of my second, Mr.
Discussion.
Kyle. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Dexter, for your help.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Kyle.
Please.
We're going further.
Mm.
The young lady that's leaving, and y'all got the process of replacing her.
Tell me Diana.
Ms. Diana.
Miss Diana hasn't left.
She-
Who is she leaving?
She hasn't turned in any.
There's resignation in that, but she's moving.
I thought that was, I'm sorry.
Public work and equipment. Mr. Jason
I
McCray.
don't have anything.
Building and property, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Umstead, building and property.
Mr. President, real quickly, I'm gonna get the printout for the layout for the guys at the, Department of Public Works. Even though they had the rough draft has been looks good, but we're gonna get a full-scale sheet, and we're gonna have a committee meeting to go over it, where everybody can understand, and then we'll present it to the full jury, if you guys can have to take a look at it on a full scale.
And that's
So-
the rehab of the interior of the building?
That's correct. That's for
Okay.
when they have to stay on during, you know, I guess we have a hurricane, or we got one coming up or whatever, but yes, sir.
Okay.
What had to been added was the mechanical and the electrical has been added, but we're gonna have a meeting so we can kind of discuss with the guys over there, so we have an understanding of what's going on. That's all I have, Mr. President, unless someone have a question for
Any
me.
questions? Mr. Williams?
The Register of Voters office has requested a set of cameras, and I kind of wanted to explain something, and I'm not trying to
No, I read it,
rule
so
out
you good.
anybody,
Yeah, I read it.
but to me, something like that, and I'm not trying to go around you or anything like that, please don't think that, I'm just trying to expedite the process. I mean, you're talking about a couple $1,000s for some cameras. If y'all are familiar with the building, it's a cinder block building, there's no windows, they cannot see out front. Apparently, I've had some people come in, they, you know, kind of made them nervous or whatnot, so that was kind of the approach. So I wanted to publicly apologize to you for not, you know, giving you that information sooner. But also, is there a way to expedite that, Mr.
I
Dexter?
think we still should have a meeting with this before we move forward, Mr. Williams,
Okay.
because I'd like to know, I know who is installing it, what kind of warranty we are facing, because we have some of the same thing going on in the jail. We kind of going backwards trying to figure out what we have for us, the warranties and all. And then we'd like to sit down, because we're not saying I won't have to sit on a precedent that, you know, we're just skipping over the process where we're meeting and talking about stuff, because I will be favored here, because we got other stuff that deals with the Department of Public Works. And we're just, Mr. Foster, excuse me for calling your name, but he does have to come like everybody else before certain things he does. And so with the ROB, I definitely would like to have a meeting,
Okay,
so we can discuss those,
perfect.
about those cameras, and we can move forward, and we can talk about that as a unit, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
And so please tell them to be a little patient with us.
Okay.
Okay.
You schedule me, that will let it be all right.
Okay, sounds great. Misha, I'll get with you about doing a meeting, and I'll have all that other stuff so we can take care of our stuff. Yeah.
Because Lauren and I did kind of discuss it briefly today and about the ROB's budget, what is he have budgeted for that. And I understand what Mr. Jeff is saying.
For sure.
Like Mr. Dexter said, whenever the warden needs something, he'll come to the meeting or before the committee or anyone else, so.
And I understand being a safety issue, I really do.
That's for sure, that's for
We
sure.
just want to see what he needs, because I think he wants cameras outside and inside.
I can see that, that's definitely what we should, okay.
Anything
Thank you,
else?
Mr. Williams.
You think that's the chairman?
I think, Mr. Armstead, while we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Historic voters, this blind door over there, that door ought to be changed out with a light in it, so they can see who's coming for it.
No, yes.
They're totally on their own.
It ought to be a ding ding, and then they can look and see who's coming in.
Yeah, so we'll deal with it, like you say, how long they've been over there now, so they can wait just a few more months till we get it situated. So it's been like that for several years, but we definitely gonna take care of it. Just tell them hang tight and be a little patient like everybody else.
Well, thank you for
Yes, sir.
doing what you're doing. I
Yeah,
mean,
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Armstead.
Yes, sir.
Let's move on. Administrative matter, the treasury report. I'm sorry she got you out here a whole lot earlier.
Yes, sir.
All right, good evening, Lauren Sherman with Balk and Winkler. You have a finance packet in front of you, and I won't go over every little detail, but we will discuss a couple of things here. This is your financial report through the first 6 months of your year, so it is through June 30th, 2026. And you will see that you have in your first column of numbers here, it's your year to date, so it's for the first 6 months of your actual dollars. The next column is what we have budgeted for the full year, so that's going to be for 12 full months. And then we have the difference between the two, so how much either you are over or under in your full 12-month budget to what we have actually spent for the first 6 months. It's pretty lengthy, but I want to explain that the first 15 pages is your general fund. It is broken out by departments, so each page is going to be its own budgeted department. But every one of these 15 makes up your general fund. And I am happy to say that our general fund has a surplus right now of a little over $1.6 million. The large derivative of this, of course, is your property tax revenue, which you receive in full in the beginning of the year, and that is to last you for the full year. But this is a really good spot to be in. You are receiving revenue, as we've stated, your sales tax is staying high in the parish, and collecting other fees and taxes as such. And also your expenses are staying relatively for the general fund on track. You will notice that if you're flipping through your different departments, a few of your budgets here are just expenditures. This is normal. We have these departments, they do fully rely on general fund to run, and this is nothing new. I will give you an in total. So in total for your general fund of every department, your total revenues is $3.6 million, and your total expenditures is $1.96 million. So the general fund is doing really well for the first 6 months of the year. Moving on, if you look at your solid waste, so it'll be right after the general fund, page 16, or the third to the last page. You will see that in your solid waste, we do have a deficit. So far, we are budgeted to have a deficit for solid waste for the year. And this is due because we have some capital outlay budgeted here. When you have capital outlay budgeted for special projects or equipment or anything of that sort, it is okay as long as you are in a deficit, as long as it's capital outlay in nature, and your solid waste does have the fund balance to cover the deficit. What I will say is the majority of the problem in solid waste is going to be that series invoice that was lingering from last year. It was paid out in this year. And we do have some tree services that were pretty expensive that has happened this year due to some emergencies from storms. That is all normal, and that is things that is hard to budget for. What we will do is we will amend the budget like normal, and we will make sure that we cover, and so we're not in a budget violation with solid waste. But that is something to keep in mind there. We have not spent anything for our capital outlay in solid waste, and maybe we can have some discussions that will move that capital outlay line up to our professional services. That looks like where we're needing the money for this year.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Moving on to Road and Bridge. Road and Bridge is in a good position. We're almost at break even at a surplus of $63,000 so far for the year. The majority of our expenses for Road and Bridge is you're going to find in personnel. There's just been a lot of hours. I'm sure that y'all know this, and Frosty can speak on this, but a lot of personnel cost, and that's your salaries and that's your benefits for Road and Bridge. That's really the only thing standing out. Your revenue's in a great shape, and your other expenditure items are in a good position as well. We have not spent anything in capital, and we are budgeted for some capital here. You will see the $300,000 that we still have not spent for Road and Bridge. And our last major fund is your health unit. As we know, our health unit is always in a high surplus. This is because of your property tax that goes here. What we do not have here yet, at the end of the year, you will see that we will transfer out the surplus from your Road and Bridge, and it will go appropriately to from your health unit to Road and Bridge.
Okay.
And then that will happen this year too. Yeah. But all in all, I am pleasantly happy with the numbers, and I feel like you all are really being very cognizant of your spending, and that's really good to see. Any questions?
Staff, 'cause they are doing a good job.
Yes.
Also,
Yes. All right, well, thank you very much.
And thank you. Any question for Lauren, what you got? Let's move on. Ms. Harris?
And you all can see your sales tax for the month of May. In your bindings, the sales tax that was, collected for the month of May. The only other thing I have is, we have.
Were they on this house? Oh, I see it.
That's for the month of May.
I got you.
You can see how it's broken. There's also on the last page, a proposed pay scale for the health unit director, position. We did do interviews, but we need a pay scale for you all to adopt that pay scale. If you would consider that. And, we'll be ready to have a recommendation at the next meeting for that position.
To hire some.
You need us to adopt it tonight?
Yes, we do.
I make a recommendation to adopt.
Second.
Second.
Armstead. Any discussion? Question from the audience? You all in favor? And opposed? Motion carried. Anything else, please? Homeless security, Ms. Darrell Bueller.
Darrell Bueller, Homeland Security. We have approval now. We're waiting on the final one, which it should be in the next week or so for the She-Ship 25. We done waited a year for that money to be approved. So we finally got a letter said they got it in the state. They just got to finish it up here, roll it in so we can start spending that money. She-Ship 26, we applied for it. That's all in the system. They haven't sent it to FEMA now. So we're waiting on that one. And just in case you don't know about it, the thunderstorm, the tropical storm that we have coming in, it's supposed to go north, then it's gonna start hooking left because we got a high pressure coming in. That's gonna block it, and it's gonna send it straight across the coast. And yesterday, this morning, they bumped it up some. It's gonna be hitting right at the edge of Beauregard, not Beauregard, Plaquemine Parish down there. And it won't be at high tide. They did tell us this evening on it. So, but they still talking about a pretty good surge coming in on it. But if you remember, with Hurricane Arthur, the hurricanes is a wind event. A tropical storm and tropical depression are rain events. But way we are here, we shouldn't get a whole lot up here unless it makes a last minute turn. But they're expecting it to come by, start hitting Louisiana at Wednesday at daybreak, 6 a.m., and it should be in Lake Charles by that evening. So it's gonna pick up speed. It's gonna be slow for 2 days, then Wednesday morning, it's gonna pick up and go. So flooding shouldn't be too bad. We shouldn't get very much up here at all.
Very little rain, 30%.
Yeah, because it's moving so fast, it's not gonna pick the rain up and drop it on us in a large amount. But that's all I got. We're prepared, we're ready to go. We done work 6 a.m. every morning right now. We have to turn in a report to the state on our parish, so they have to have it to be able to get with the governor and FEMA and all of them. So, yeah, we're waiting on Wright to come in, finish with the site. All the stuff's been hauled for the $125,000. The rest of it is half dirt, and we don't want to haul dirt. We can take it, have to get it sifted out, because the excavator would take a long time to try and do it. If you hadn't been by there, go by the sawmill down there on 959 and look. We got some areas 4 foot and 2 foot of it is dirt. So my personal opinion is we don't need to pay for dirt. We've already did that one time. But I'm gonna get with Frosty and them on it on how we gonna maintain that versus having a few years' worth built up. But, yeah, all they have to do now, is they have to come in there, hey, haul all the ash off, do the, fix the road coming in, cause there's a spot in there where a culvert is that's really messed up from the weight going in when it was raining a lot. But other than that, hey, we just waiting on them to finish with everything. And as soon as they do that, we'll be able to, close it down again.
Okay, anything else for Mr. Bueller? Anything else, Darrell?
No.
All right, thank you.
Right.
And we did meet the deadline for the last storm to do submission for, didn't know if there was enough damage done, Mr. Frosty. Well, Mr. Sean, Mr. Darrell, Mr. Frosty, and his department, and Miss, Diana worked very hard to get all of that information submitted by the
If we
deadline.
got in for the deadline. We did get it in.
So we should get some reimbursement?
Keep it thank, we hope to get it.
Yes.
It was,
Anything else, Ms. Henry? Your question? Okay, let's move on. Commission and Board of Planning and Zoning meet next Tuesday. Tourist Commission.
Good evening. I'm Arlene Culpepper, Vice Chair for East Feliciana Parish Tourism Commission. We have our second meeting tomorrow. If anyone would like to attend, it's at 3 o'clock at Audubon Regional Library in Clinton. We've been working on basically social media, trying to get some interest to the parish, to get people here. One of the things I've sent is a call out to get motorcycle tours here. We're thinking about doing a poker run. We don't know who the charity would be that it would benefit, but we are thinking about organizing one. And we're still talking about organizing the walking tour the Saturday after the lighting of the Christmas tree, which I think is December 6th. And we're working on a couple of other items, just trying to get those together. We'll talk about that at the meeting tomorrow and get some more ideas. If anybody has any ideas, please feel free to get with me. We've just kind of been trying to establish a footprint on social media. We're almost at 1,000 followers on the Facebook page, which is pretty much brand new. So we're doing good at getting followers, and we're getting a ton of engagement. I could see the insights. They're already showing up, and we're getting a lot of engagement. We're basically just featuring like old landmarks and things like that. But I know that the shopping is working because 2 people came into H Mercantile Saturday that were from Denham Springs, and they had seen, I had been taking the post and putting them in other Facebook pages in parishes around, and they were here because they had seen the Shop East Feliciana post. So little steps, but just trying to get some things going. Anybody have any questions?
I do have a comment. You are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
It is absolutely amazing. It's making me want to go places in Clinton. That's how good you're doing.
Well, there's a lot of places that I've learned about in Jackson that I didn't know about through doing it. People would inbox me and say, you left Hanger Bay out. I said, what is Hanger Bay? Oh, it's a wine and cigar store inside of Thompson Sporting Goods, and I had no idea. And then the lady that owns that took over Blue Frog, that's Caboose Antiques, she inboxed me and her social media person and gave me other names. So it's going to be so easy to set up these tours and these ideas and things. And so I know it's working, but I can't wait to see where we actually see it translate into people coming here all of the time.
There's 2 events I'm going to talk to you about
Okay.
afterwards because somebody has contacted me about it.
Okay, and anything that you guys know about, anybody here, let me know about it. Would be glad to help market it. If it's anything that's going to bring, economic development and some tourism-related things here, let me know. I know Mr. Flanagan had a ton of ideas. Ms. Chrissy did too. So y'all feel free to, I'm very, very open to suggestions. Anything that's going to help the parish, but keep us at the quality that we're at now. We don't want, we don't want any foolishness. We want all good stuff and positive things here. But we have so much potential to get people here. We have the green space for it. Then I'd like to see something done with the area where we planted the Liberty Tree. I had talked to Mr. Lewis about it. Yeah. So, there's a lot of little small cheap things that we can do to really get people here and even have the people here that don't come out anymore realize that we do have things here for them to do and for the kids to do. So if there's nothing else, I'll go sit down. All right, y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Culpepper. Okay. Let's move on. Public comment. State your name, please.
Jim?
Speak, come to the mic, state your name.
I'm supposed to speak loud enough for everybody.
Yeah,
to hear me.
speak to the mic, please.
I am. That better?
Good.
Okay. Drainage problem. Y'all already talked about the new drainage. What about the old one, the old existing drainages? I live on District 1A. I ain't seen an excavator come down there in 4 years. I don't have a ditch. The road is the ditch. He come met me one morning. That's been 3 months now. 811 came out there. They come put all the markings. That was 2.5 months ago. All the markings are gone. No ditch has been cleaned out. We get a storm out there. Guess what? Guess who gets flooded? Me. All the people live behind me, all the elderly people. Water gets over a foot deep on that road. They can't get to their house. The dirt he come put, after he put the dirt in that low area, no gravel, just clay, 2 people went off in the ditch that night after the rain. I almost socked my service truck in the ditch. That'd cost y'all a lot of money right there if I lost that truck in that ditch, because it's not a small truck. I ride a motorcycle in and out of there. It rains. I can't get out of there on that motorcycle. It's a street bike, not a dirt bike. I done talked to this lady. She refused to put me on the ballot to talk to y'all freely. So I'm here now.
Who did you talk to?
You.
What's your name?
Jim.
Jim what?
Kennedy.
Where do you live?
9114 Whitney Lane, Florida, Louisiana.
You never talked to me.
Yes, ma'am, I did, because you gave me you told him to call me, and he come met me that morning, early that morning, 6 o'clock.
Okay, so, and I didn't do anything, but I gave him your information?
Hey, he come out there and met me.
Okay.
It was almost 3 months ago.
But you haven't called me back to tell me that nothing's been done?
I don't have your number. I left it all up to him. 811 come out there, did all the markings. You get out and go check your district?
Yes, I do.
I cannot tell.
You're not gonna be conversation. Go ahead and talk, okay?
I'll come to you, see you personally.
Okay, thank you.
Debbie Kemp.
You have 3 minutes.
Yeah. No, for the people around here who actually have access to the Morning Advocate, or the Advocate now, sorry, Mr. Minton, on July 16th, they had an article about the resolution or the agreement that the East Feliciana Parish jury has come, et al., has come with Collis Temple Jr. and Harmony Behavior. And they reported that the parish agreed to pay more than $120,000 and requested the DA to drop the criminal charges. $120,000, well, more than $120,000 is an extremely ambiguous figure. So do we have any hard numbers on how much the parish is going to pay and where's the money coming from?
It's my district tonight, $120,000.
It is,
But it's not paid for by the parish.
okay.
It's paid for by the insurance company.
Okay.
And it was the choice of the insurance company to pay. We did not really want them to pay, but at that point, it wasn't our money. We did not want to accept fault because it wasn't our fault.
Yeah, I'm not faulting it like y'all just y'all saved the parish for a reasonable amount of money, that kind of thing. But it was just like I said, saying more than is a very ambiguous figure, and it could go anywhere from, $200,000 to $2 million with that kind of thing.
And if I'm correct, correct me if it was more than 120. My recollection was it was half of their insurance, half of their lawyers' fees.
Roughly.
Roughly half.
Yes.
Roughly half
Roughly.
of their lawyers.
Okay.
Is what we understood.
There were no criminal charges.
Well, I think eventually they had filed charges because he had proceeded with work after they had told him a work stop order.
Oh.
So that was the, I guess, criminal charges in a sense.
Wasn't criminal criminal like you're thinking about,
Well,
but it would have been
Yeah, against the law, you know, they broke the law.
a bad ticket.
Uh-huh. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. Any more public comment? If
Yes,
not,
I have one, Mr.
please.
President. I think it would behoove us, that some of us, all of us, brush yourself up on Robert's Rules of Order. There's a way to conduct a meeting, and there's procedures that you have to go by. You just don't come in and throw something on the agenda of that magnitude without giving people a chance, an opportunity to look over it. We have Sam as our legal counsel. If we have something of that nature, that importance, he should be included in it. And if I were he, and you didn't consult me, when something went wrong, the first thing would come out my mouth, well, you didn't consult me, so don't tell me anything about it. Okay? Another thing, you don't jump up and throw fits and temper tantrums because you can't have your way. When I vote or you vote, that's your choice, that's your privilege to vote the way you want to vote. And it is not your right or your place to question another juror and ask them, well, what's your reason why? That you don't do that. That's very inappropriate, it's not ethical, it's not professional. I carry myself in a dignified way, I give respect and I demand it. And I will not be blasted out by anybody. And that's all I got to say.
And my approach was to try not to say anything to her, because I thought that was more professional than to get in a war of words at that time.
Call for order. I can't control grown people. She just said she will. I think the guy ahead of that, I couldn't ask the police to move a juror out and get her right to voice her opinion. You gotta do it in decency, you know, one thing I demand is respect, and common courtesy from anybody and everybody. I'm gonna give it, I expect everybody else to give and to respect it. We're the jury, we're supposed to be the best in the past. We should know how to control ourselves, our anger. You're gonna win, so you're gonna lose something.
And when you're doing something that important and something dealing with a moratorium, that affects the lives of people, that's, it's cost efficient, that costs money, it costs time. And I mean, you just don't make a decision, bring that up at a meeting that night and 5 minutes before the meeting, you throw that at the table to people and expect them to vote on it. You just don't do that. I'm through, Mr. President.
Any more questions for that? I'm telling more to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Y'all was drinking, y'all was drinking.
You sound like me.
I'm gonna see how mellow I am, I'm gonna pass all that.